Am I the astronaut for telling my husband that his affair child is not welcome in our home, and if he wants custody, he will have to move out? My husband and I have been married for 9 years. In 2021, we found out that my husband was being sued for child support. Turns out my husband had an affair shortly after we were married. It nearly ended our marriage, but we went to counseling together and I agreed to stay in the marriage with the following provisions. My husband was to get a second job so that his child support payments did not affect our household budget, and at no point in time would I ever consider having a relationship with this child. If he wanted to pursue one with them, fine, but I have absolutely zero interest in this kid. So my husband has been getting to know his kid over the past couple of years, and recently my husband came to me and informed me that there was some sort of baby mama drama. Apparently, she has to self-surrender in May and is going to be incarcerated for 8 months. My husband told me that he needed to take custody while his affair partner is locked up. Otherwise, the kid would have to go to their grandparents who live on the opposite coast from us. Their kid doesn't want to have to change schools or be so far away from their friends, dad and mom. She will be doing her time fairly local to us. So after my husband told me that, I got up and left the house. I went to the grocery store on the corner and grabbed a copy of our area's apartment guide, went back home and handed it to him. He asked if I was serious. I told him I still felt the same way I did 3 years ago. He said he didn't think that was fair considering the extenuating circumstances. I told him I didn't care about the circumstances. His kid will not be welcome in my home. If he wants to take custody, I will grant him an amicable divorce, but I am not changing my mind. I am not taking care of some other chick's kid. Edit for all the people concerned about what a whipcracker I am in making my poor husband work 2 jobs. He has never had a full-time job since we have been together. He works 2 part-time retail jobs now that add up to 40 to 50 hours a week. He currently only has supervised visitation with his kid. They see each other once or twice a month for a couple of hours with a social worker present. And for those who seem to think that I need to be the one to file for divorce, no, I will not. I am not the one who created this situation. If my husband wants to pursue custody, I have told him I will not fight it. I will grant him an amicable divorce and let him be on his way. However, I am not going to waste my own time, energy, and money to do so. He is responsible for getting his own ducks in a row for the situation he created. That includes being the one to go through the headache of filing. But you know what's going to happen, Hero P, right? He doesn't want a divorce. You do. He's not going to file. So if you want a divorce, you're going to have to file. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. Now, this is just me speaking here, but I think the fact that you are willing to punish this child because it is the result of him being unfaithful, and yes, you laid those ground rules up front. And by the agreement that you had in the very beginning of this, you are well within your rights or the guidelines of that agreement to walk. But that is your choice to walk, and you need to know that your choice to walk only affects you. You are the one losing here. You are the one losing an opportunity to have a relationship with this kid who you could have a really special relationship with, and who, from the sounds of it, needs someone to step into that role. You don't want to, that's fine. I hope your soon-to-be ex-husband steps up and says, yeah, well, if you're forcing me to choose between my child and you, I'm going to choose my child. I hope he does that. And I hope you walk. I hope you end up filing for divorce, because you, with your current mindset and at least the capacity that we've seen so far, probably shouldn't be in a house with his child. You probably shouldn't be a role model. You probably shouldn't be an example of anything for this kid. You're going to be called heartless. You're going to be called a lot of things for choosing you in this situation, but that is your right to choose you here. I would have a hard time making that decision. I would have a hard time choosing not to welcome a child in. But that's me. Candy Thunder says she agrees 100%. Yeah. She doesn't know anybody anything. She can choose her right now, and that's 100% fine. That is her actively choosing to not have a relationship with this child and be alone. It is a package deal. But she is going to end up having to be the one to file for divorce. And I think she needs to understand and accept that, because he doesn't want the divorce. So she's going to tell him that he needs to, you can't force him to file for divorce. You would file for divorce. Candy Thunder's punching in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any disagreement that he's a scumbag for cheating on his wife.
None.
No, I mean, that's a given. Like he f***ed up, he cheated, but she chose to stay. You can't choose to stay and be like, I'm only staying for 75% of you. I'm not staying for 100% of you. If that's your caveat, then you need to leave. You're not in it.
Right.
If you're not going to be 100% in, then she should have left whenever she found out.
She should have left back then, but she did make herself clear back then, and then chose to move forward with that caveat, and that caveat was enacted. And I mean, it's what they agreed to. And yeah, he f***ed up. I have more respect for him now, though, because he owned up to his up. He owned up, and he is stepping up to be a father to the kid that is a result of his up back in the day. He's at least doing what he can to be the best human being that he can now. Not that, yeah, obviously he f***ed up. But this would be a really tough decision. I would have a really hard time choosing not to have a relationship and not welcome that kid in.
Okay. Jen Page said, if you're not 100% in, you're 100% out. And that's, I think, that's the only feedback this story needs. She's not 100% in. Go find a relationship where she can be 100% and you guys go your separate ways. Like, it's not working. You need to just get out.
Yeah, agreed. It's probably best for this kid that she not be in his life anyway. So yeah, bail. If you're not 100% in it, bail, but accept the fact that you're going to end up being the one to file as much as you want him to.